Hi, my name is Gabriella Sand, and my persuasive speech topic is about how minors should be able to have access to birth control without parental consent. Imagine yourself as a 16-year-old girl. You have a great education, you have a great life, you have great friendships, and a great relationship with your boyfriend. You make one slip up, and you have an unwanted pregnancy that you didn't intend to. 3 out of 10 American girls will end up pregnant before the age of 20. 47% of sexually active girls said that they would stop using reproductive health services altogether if that meant they had to come to their parents first about what they were doing. Not only are teenagers losing sight on contraceptive services, but they're also losing sight on being STD tested and how to protect themselves from unwanted pregnancies. Researchers have shown that requiring a minor to go to their parents about contraceptive health services will delay or prevent them from going to reproductive health care, but does not delay or stop them from having sexual activity. Studies have shown that preventing teens from getting contraceptives unless they tell their parents won't stop them from having sex. It will just drive them away from the services they need to protect themselves, leading to higher rates of STDs and unwanted pregnancies. If teenagers are prevented from getting a contraceptive without letting their parents know, they have a higher chance of getting pregnant at a young age or have an unwanted pregnancy. This means that if they don't use a contraceptive, they have a 90% higher chance of getting pregnant. Many teens feel like they can't talk to their parents about sexual activity or contraceptives, and some teens feel like they aren't as close enough to talk about contraceptives in general, or where to get them, or what they are, or just how to have safe sex in general. A lot of teens that I know that I would go to school with didn't use protection at all because they were scared to even come and tell their parents about what was happening. A lot of the kids my age also were too scared to get condoms in the grocery store or at a gas station. The thought of protection scared them because they were too uncomfortable to talk openly about it. Fear of getting condoms at a store for a minor is huge. It prevents STDs and it also prevents pregnancies, and that's a huge thing with protection. It doesn't have to be birth control or all different types of birth control or an abortion. It can just be condoms, and the condom can prevent from STDs and unwanted pregnancies, and many teens don't know that. Young people from the age of 15 to 24 account for 50% of all new STDs, and that could be prevented if they didn't have to come to their parents about birth control, condoms, and everything like that. Another major fear that a teenage girl might have is coming to their parents and talking about sex and talking about birth control and contraceptives. And it also is a big factor of teenage pregnancy, is because they were too scared to come to their parents about what was happening. Nearly 7 out of 10 teens are afraid what their parents might think or say about them bringing up the idea of contraceptives, birth control, or condoms, and they say that it's pushing them away from using protection while they have sex, which is a major problem that could easily be prevented if they didn't have to come to their parents first. I'm going to move away from the fear factor of getting contraceptives for teens and, all of the factors, including it. I'm going to talk about now the pregnancies, teenage pregnancies. So about 82% of teenage pregnancies are nearly always unwanted. Poverty, malnutrition, complications of pregnancy, emotional problems such as depression, drug and alcohol use, they're all risks for the mother, but they're also at risk for the children. Children are also at greater risk for physical, cognitive, and emotional problems when a teenage pregnancy is in life. Sex ed. It is talked about in school, touched on lightly. It's more about puberty and from what I went through, how to put on a condom, but it doesn't take away from the fear that kids go through of getting them by themselves, and it doesn't take you through how to get contraceptives without your parent knowing, because most teens don't want that to happen. And a lot of schools feel like if they inform teenagers about teenage pregnancy or inform them about contraceptives and condoms, that they're most likely going to engage in sexual activity, which is also really big because we want to inform them as much as possible about what could happen if they don't use protection. In conclusion, teens need to be accurately and regularly informed about contraceptives without their parents being in the same room next to them, without feeling the pressure or that feeling of them just being right there staring at you and judging you or thinking about what they're going to say to you when you leave that doctor's office. They need to feel like they're in a safe space and they can talk about anything with anybody, and they don't need to tell their parents or come to their parents first about what they are doing. Minors should have full access to birth control without the parental consent. This is because it prevents STDs, it informs minors on protection, and prevents unwanted pregnancies. Without the consent of parents for minors to use contraceptives, it would prevent a lot of STDs, in teenagers, and a lot of unwanted teenage pregnancies. It would probably eliminate the fear of getting condoms from the gas station. It would eliminate the fear of talking to your parents about contraceptives. It would protect a lot of kids along the way, and I know it would be best for teens my age, just practicing safe sex. Thank you for listening to my speech. My name is Gabriella Sands. Have a great one.